Hello Kerbaliers! This is the PFC 8 Basic Retro Official Rules Update. Are you ready? Here's the rule set. This is a stock plus expansion and BDA Continued contest. BDA will be version 1221. PFC 8 will be in KSP version 145. Your mandatory parts are a Radome, cockpit or capsule with a Kerbal, RTG or fuel cell, AI pilot, weapons manager, and a minimum of 1 flare box and 1 chaff box. Maximum 4 each. 1 entry per person. Banned list. No multistage vehicles. This includes drop tanks. The whole plane must battle. No drones or probe cores. No rocket engines. SCS and reaction wheels are allowed. RCS is not allowed. No plate armor. Armor settings on parts must be at default. No microplanes. Your craft must be at least as long as 3 Mark I liquid fuel tanks. You may only use Juno and Weasley engines, and any combination of the two are fine. Maximum of 100 parts. You may use any of the following weapons. They must be forward-facing and locked in position. Your limits are 8 Brownings, 4 50 cal turrets, 6 M30 chain guns, 6 hidden Vulcans, 6 Vulcan turrets, 4 GAU 80s. The turrets must have yaw and pitch settings at 0, no mixing guns. You may use air-to-air missiles including explosive phone poles. Flight ceiling is at or below 4,000 meters. Max altitude setting on the AI. You may adjust other AI settings as you please as long as the AI can fly it. I suggest 750 as your minimum altitude. The competition will be a 2-on-2 match piloted by BDA's AI in competition mode. Planes will be tested to determine flight worthiness as part of the tech inspection. If you fail tech or flight, you will be allowed to make changes until you pass. When I have 16 planes that pass tech and flight, I will start PFC 8. First come, first inspected. I'm only battling 16 planes at a time. Any action groups that interfere with setup or creates a detriment to filming will be an instant disqualification. This is my setup process. I load the plane with vessel mover, stage to fire the engines, set the parking brakes, and set the plane down. I turn on SAS and radars, set the teams, and then launch with the BDA competition mode. There you go. That is your rule set. Now I'll go into a little more detail on what I was talking about in some of these rules. Mandatory list. No micros. Your plane must be as long as 3 Mark I liquid fuel tanks stacked together. I don't want to see anything shorter than that. You must have a radar. You may choose between these 3. You don't need the big radars. Your weapons manager and your AI. You need to have both of those. You also have to have at least 1 chaff and flare, no more than 4 each. You can use an RTG or any of the fuel cells. You can only use Junos and Weasley engines. Your altitude must be set at or below 4,000 meters. These are the weapons you are allowed to use. And yes, you are allowed to use ECM jammers. When you attach your weapons, they are not set up, and you need to make some adjustments so your plane doesn't chase missiles or waste ammunition that should be sent towards your opponent. You'll want to set these 3 settings right here to false, so you're only going air to air. The Brownings have an extra setting that lets you toggle the barrage. That way you can either send a stream of bullets or a pulse of bullets. You'll need to do the same thing with the turrets so they're not wasting ammunition that should go towards your enemies. You'll also want to set your minimum and maximum pitch and yaw range to 0. That way they're locked in place. When using missile rails, make sure you extend the height 2 or 3 clicks so your fins will clear, and make it as short as possible. Also, when putting your missile on, make sure it's centered on the rail, because that can cause some weird effects too. Basically what you want to do is make that missile rail tall enough so your fins are not clipping into any part of your plane. Okay, let's take a look at missile settings. First, you want to make sure, just like your guns, you have them set to engage air only. Then you want to set your decouple speed to 10. Always set it to 10, and set your drop time somewhere between 0.5 and 1. Finally, you want to look at your engagement minimum range. I usually set the longer range missiles to stop around 4,500 meters, and then I set my shorter range missiles, like the Sidewinders, down around 2,500. Now, if you have a ton of long-range missiles, the AI will try to fire every single one of those before it switches to another weapon. So you would want to have your longer range missiles, like your AIM-120s, running out about the time you get into range of your Sidewinders, and you'll want to have your Sidewinders run out when you get in the range of your guns. That way your AI has no choice but to choose the proper weapon. I hope this helps everybody in their building, and I want to wish you all good luck, because for your flight test you will be facing the drone as usual. It's just been updated with new missiles and new guns and new AI and all that stuff. Now this is the part where I say, hit the like button if you like what you saw, share it, subscribe, and don't be afraid to leave a comment. I like talking to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, Kerbal ears.